Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Major League Gaming StarCraft 2 tournament. We are about to go to Game 2 between puCK and Scarlet.
And what a game one it's been. Maxed out Zerg with mass roaches, 1-1, and tunneling class on the way at 12 minutes 15.
That's not a strategy Scarlet broke out last week, man.
That's not
She's pulling builds out of everywhere.
Yeah, you know, she's been playing a lot of different styles, game after game, especially against Protoss. I mean, against Terran, she has her go-to style she likes to go back to a lot. And that Korean regime training is working out really, really well, I feel, for her. She's playing, she might be playing better than ever. I mean, beating Pulse recently quite convincingly. Here against puCK, she looked great in the first game.
Yeah, it is really interesting because we saw puCK try to mix it up a little bit. It's one of those bigger maps, and usually you think, okay, big map, macro game, but then you end up in these situations where it's like, well, maybe it's an opportunity to get aggressive because you won't be expecting, you know, me to go for an early attack. But the second map, bit smaller, still a good macro map. It's going to be Frost, and you know, this is like the most popular map basically in this season across like every Premier tournament so far.
We saw a lot of good games recently on Frost in Protoss vs Zerg. puCK had some great games against Violet as well.
Yeah.
And I expect maybe a little bit more of a passive play here out of puCK. I like that he tried what he tried, especially on Altruism, where you know your gases are hidden. You know, he picked the one gas that could be scouted and hit the other one that he wasn't taking. But yeah, it just didn't work in the end.
It did not work. And now his opponent, our red Zerg in the bottom right, is up 1-0 in this best of 3 here at MLG. It is Acer's Scarlet. She played just a pretty solid game. Lots of roaches against this gentleman in the northwest from IVD Gaming. It is puCK.
When these two played, they played 3 days ago. In the backgrounds, puCK actually won that map. So we'll see here if he can repeat that against a Scarlet who's been playing really, really well. And that pylon placement's a little bit odd. Not a big fan. I feel like it's difficult to place your gateway in a good position if you make your pylon here. Not gonna read too much into it. Every player have like their own preference.
You're signing him off to Doom for that position of the pylon.
Oh, actually, you can put it here. Whoop, this is beautiful. I was starting to think he might go for a forge just because of this, but no, it's going to be a gateway, most likely a 1-gate expand with a single gas. I don't think we see double gas too often in this situation. It can be okay, but it's not nearly as good as just a 1-gas expand. And this map is a very, very good map to go for the standard, as you mentioned many times, +2 blink, quick third base with a whole bunch of sentries. You can scout with hallucinations. You can adapt a lot. And then if you want to do an 11 or 12 minutes timing, with your mothership core and a lot of sentry energy, you can very well do that and do some damage, or at least force a lot of units out of your opponent. The thing is, against somebody like Scarlet, who creep spreads so well, even the small pressure that you like to do against Zerg, they are going to be, I feel, very difficult to do in comparison against her than if you would be against a regular Zerg. She's not a regular Zerg, man.
No. Scarlet's going to go straight up to 3 bases. It's pretty much as soon as she realized she wasn't being cannon rushed. And puCK, I mean, the way that he's opened up in this game, do you think that on a map like this, Scarlet is known to be, you know, occasionally breaking out some of the cheesier variety of strategies? You think puCK's tendency to go Nexus first is why he opened Gateway, or
actually,
do you think it's better on this map?
I think he opens Gateway first a lot before the Nexus. In the previous game, he did it because it was Altruism, but I remember some of his games at the Battlegrounds, and he did that a whole bunch with that very same wall every single time with the 1 pylon and cybernetics core. So it's a little bit weird how he's going around with this probe here, but I guess he wanted to avoid some kind of maybe links in the middle of the map or an overlord, but it was seen. And Scarlet has played this in a very, very greedy way, but you don't really die to anything except like super heavy pressure with Zealots and Mothership Core. Maybe you can lose one of your bases, but then you're usually going to be ahead on the walker counts and not doing too bad with the speed and links. So she did double hatch, gas, and then pull. That means speed should come in pretty quickly. We see it's already started. And I don't think she's going to want to be aggressive with that unless she finds a weakness in puCK's defense.
Makes sense. puCK's going to finish up his wall. And So you kind of mentioned it though. Like it's obviously you open up with the 3 hatcheries, you get your gas before the pool. It's about as late as Zergling production gets. Does Scarlet look to do anything aggressive with this speed? Maybe it could shut down a fast third Nexus if puCK tries to play too greedy himself.
Yeah, Rotty kept talking about this. Actually, it's so funny. Rotty kept saying, if you do this build, you should get a 4th gateway in your main hidden, and then you should do a big pressure. And look at that hidden probe in the middle of the map, at the bottom hand side.
That's a Roddy build
probe,
right there.
hidden pylon, man.
It's a Roddy build if I ever saw one, Todd.
Hashtag Roddy build. Hey, it could very well be, but it's a bit weird. Usually you don't get a Stalker and then a Sentry like this. I guess it doesn't matter all that much. Warp Gate has been chrono boosted out a bunch of times. He's going to finish, I guess, at 6 minutes and 12 seconds. The pylon starts on time to line up very well with the Warp Gates being morphed. And puCK knows that there is no third base over there. I think he kind of guesses. He's got it nothing so far. He's kind of guessing that there was a quick third base. And look at that game sense. Scarlett is going to spot it. This
Scarlet.
is beautiful game sense. In the previous game already, she read perfectly into what was happening. Oh man, this is ridiculous. How do you beat somebody like this who guesses everything that you're doing?
It is. This has been almost clairvoyance from Scarlet at this point. She just knows where everything is. And puCK, how many more Zealots is he going to commit to this? 3 more? Is there like a limit to how much you can invest before you're too far behind, or does he need to throw everything that he has at
As long as he's making probes at the same time and getting additional gases, I think it's okay. And I mean, he could even recall there after having forced, I don't even know, like 50 Zerglings or something ridiculous. I think he's going to recall.
Yeah, there are actually quite a few Zerglings out on the map. So the Mothership Core is up here helping to fight against these Zerglings.
Wow, so many Queens.
Yeah, I mean, if that Mothership Core goes down, then all the Zealots are pretty much forfeit. Like you can't run away at that point. And one of them does get caught. puCK's, he has warped in quite a few Zealots here, though.
Yeah, he's still making probes very consistently behind this, which is good, obviously. I wonder what he goes into behind this. He's getting a Twilight Council. Does he forget again that he didn't make the Forge? A good follow-up to this style, when you go for the 4 gateways like this, is to go for a Robo, make out 2 or 3 Immortals, add 3 gateways, and do an Immortal push on 2 bases. Because you will have forced a lot of Zerglings, your opponent's not going to be where he wants to be in the Roker count. And we see that actually right now. 46 probes to 41 drones. I mean, Scarlet made those 3 hatcheries because she wanted to get a lot of drones. Wow, sick trap here with those Zerglings. He's going to kill a lot of them.
Yeah, picks up the pylon, but another gateway warped in to help hold the wall together. And Scarlet throwing up some Spore Crawlers. Do you think she's a bit cautious about what puCK could be doing? I don't think she's managed to get the Overlord in his main base at all this game.
She needs to wait for an Overseer, but the lair was delayed so much. We're at 9 minutes, and it just started only now. So behind this, puCK gets the Blink. I wonder if this is a Blink all-in behind this. Rotty also talked about this. Maybe puCK just watch Rotty's cast. It's like, this guy is so good, I should just do what he said. And oh my god, that was so close. 1 hit away. Oh, no, that was the left. Okay, no. One ship core is fine. Don't worry, Nate.
I thought you were talking about the Queen because the Transfuse came in at the last second. The 3rd Nexus on the way, puCK's going to get his Forge. So this, and the Robotics Facility as well. And Scarlet sees this.
By the way, those gateways in the wall of puCK here, they are not powered. He needs to do that ASAP. He's going to do it now. You can tell puCK is already bothered by everything that's happened. And it's just because of Scarlet's game sense, really. I mean, even that 1 probe here, how does she know this is going there? She knows that she has to apply pressure all the time with her units. Her units are really fast, those Zerglings. She does it, and then she's an opportunist. She finds the probe, she kills it. Every single time it works out for her. Going for the Spire this time. This is one of the better builds you can do against a Protoss that goes on 3 base rapidly. When something has gone wrong early on in the game, even if you're going for Blink and +2, which in this case is only the Blink. There is, okay, the +1 starts now. This is just Scarlet basically saying, I'm going to be in control of this game from the start to finish, and she's made every single decision right so far in this series. Look at how much gas she has. She's going to be able to start something like 15 Mutas at the time, and puCK still has no idea. I mean, you need to know. Even if he's getting Blink, even if he's getting upgrades, he needs to know a minimum.
Yeah, you don't want to get caught off in a position like that.
You don't want Mutas to fly into your middle line, and that's when you find out.
Yeah, just because you have 20 Blink Stalkers in your opponent's side of the field doesn't help too much the defensive setup. So Pylon on the top right, and Are her Zerglings going to find that pylon already?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, this is a big tell, by the way. Taking this 5th base here with the double gas very quickly. When you haven't spotted a Spire, you should kind of be able to know what is up. He's getting a War Prism. I have to wonder. I think puCK might be going for a huge timing here. With all the gateways that he has, he's only going to be making units from now. He's going to be cutting probes a little bit.
Zerglings are trying to counterattack as he hits this base in the top right. Scarlet trying to move in. That Zealot warped in a block, though, doing a good job so far. Sentry as well, trying to hold the line.
Does he counterattack, or does he try and defend back at home? I mean, there is a lot of Stalkers, Sentries, Archons could help reinforce, as the Templar Archive will finish very, very soon.
Yeah, puCK has a lot of money to spend. I imagine it's got to be on Archons at this point, otherwise those Mutalisks could overrun everything that he has back home. And a Gateway Wall took quite a beating, but puCK still has this main force. That Warp Prism could potentially go from another direction. And look at this, Scarlet just pulled a drones away. It's like, no, there's nothing to see here. The space is empty.
She needs to get a lot of spines somewhere, though, like in her main or something. I mean, it's okay to win a base trade when you have this many mutas, but back at home you need something to help reduce that Gateway army counts of your opponent. She's getting links, which are not going to do much against this army over here.
What about puCK getting Storm? You prefer that over Archons?
It's funny, she's hiding a hatchery on the bottom left-hand side of the map, and there is an observer there. That's so random. And yeah, the 3rd base of puCK will fall very rapidly. He goes into Storm. Wow, you haven't seen this for a very long time. Everybody goes Phoenixes nowadays to try and either Phoenixes or all in. In this case, puCK says, you know what, I want to go into Storm. And those Mutas, they are in such high numbers that they don't even care about the Sentries and Stalkers. They're going to open the gates for the Lynx to flood in.
The recall brings a couple more of those Stalkers back, though, for puCK. And
oh, big
Zealous for now.
Attack in the 3rd base of Scarlet over there.
Yeah, Scarlet does a lot of her economy.
They got a lot of drones.
Yeah, Scarlet only has 37 workers. puCK only has 48, though, and both of these players are running low on the resources available.
42 drones have been killed by those units and those attacks here. So puCK, even though he's very far behind on expansions, by the way, Scarlet expands right in front of puCK's base.
And that Warp Prism at the random observer finding the random base in the bottom left gets us some Zealots warped in for puCK. And
what is this game?
And Scarlet's going to take the left side base, too. She's building hatcheries everywhere.
I mean, this is very ambitious, obviously.
It's an ambitious hatchery. It's got high hopes.
Look at Scarlet's income. She's only mining from her main and doing some long-distance mining at her natural. She's remaking hatchery there. Scarlet doesn't have much going for her in this game. She has the creep threat going for her, which who cares at this point?
I mean, it's nice for vision, but you want to have units out. And Scarlet actually finished a drone in the bottom left, so she'll be able to restart that hatchery immediately.
Yeah, the Muta Cloud here. Scarlet's only chance, 31 Mutas, 14 Stalkers.
But the Mutas missed the Warp Prism too. I think it's still on the left side of the map, so puCK can potentially go back over there. These cannons on their own are going to have trouble. Photon Overcharge going to try to help as well. Still, there's a lot of fighting force here for the Zergs.
If puCK is able to stabilize on 3 bases, which he should be able to, then from there he can decide what to go into. He can stay on this Gateway army with Templars left everywhere, extra cannons made, and then later go into timing. But it's very difficult against Muta's base trading, so going for Phoenixes is also an option. He's moving out a little bit too early here, and he's going to be punished just a little for it with a cannon sniped very easily by those Mutas, which are going to regenerate. Oh, the Lynx are in position. puCK overextends.
Oh,
she's going to catch him.
Forward, maybe need some force fields. There are a couple of sentries here. Still those Templar with the storms as well, but you know those get a little bit too close to the Stalkers at that point.
Scarlet remade the bottom left-hand side expansion here. Yeah. I guess there was some lava. Maybe she made it.
Yeah, there was a drone building when puCK killed the base. Just one drone to rule them all.
And puCK is actually moving out without his Mothership Core, so he has to commit to an attack here. The storm is going to go down all those Mutas. The Photon Overcharge is up, but there's just so many of them. Is that enough to snipe the Nexus very quickly? Those Mutas actually starting to die left and right here. We have 30 Mutas out on the field, 24 Stalkers as well as 2 Archons. puCK feels obligated to attack at this point.
Yeah, he's moving in that natural expansion for puCK is going to get taken out, but there's Zealots in the south. These drones are running away, and puCK, I don't think he's going to be able to catch all of them. This is going to make things really difficult, especially with that hatchery in the bottom left.
Yeah, they are being transferred
out too.
They are being transferred to the new hatchery on the bottom left-hand side, but they just walked past the observer of puCK, so we should be able to realize basically where those are going. Oh wow, ambitious blink here. puCK needs to be careful. I think Scarlett realizes there is just a small chunk of unit back at her base here. She's going to come back, try to flank it, try to eliminate this portion of puCK's army.
And there are queens here as well who can help to transfuse these Mutalisks. Going in immediately, focusing the Archon with its splash. It's down. Just Stalkers versus Mutalisks. The Zergling support is quite nice. puCK's bringing the rest of his forces over. The Guardian Shield is quite nice as well. But there's just I feel like there's too many Mutalisks here, Todd. Is puCK actually going to defend this?
Yeah, those numbers are starting to fall here. The Mutas are dying left and right. The Stalkers have the +2, so do the Mutas. But with the Guardian Shield and some Archons in support, puCK was really able to trade a lot better than we would have anticipated here, I guess. And you know what? He makes a lot of cannons at his third base in the meantime to make sure he can hold there. Scarlett is trying to scramble out as many units as she can to try and fight this army once and for all. But there is Templars with a lot of energy there now. 4 Storm available in total. The Zealots...
This game has been insane. I'm really impressed with the number of Mutalisks that puCK was able to trim down. There's still quite a few of them. It's still a very scary number, but...
puCK is scanning a little bit everywhere, by the way. On the top
trying to set the Templar, gets full Templar. No Storms available for puCK, gets the Sentry as well.
This is huge. This was not supposed to happen here. This changes everything, I feel. I mean, Scarlet has so much more supply, but it's only in drones, which are on the bottom left-hand side of the map. She's producing a few more Mutas, and slowly but surely...
I mean, still having that Spire, she can just rebuild so many of her forces.
puCK is now on 39 army supply and 67. He's going to try to pull back home. He does not know about this bases at the bottom left-hand side. He should be able to kind of guess, but even then, there is nothing he can do about them.
Yeah, at this point, does he have any other choices? Does Turtle just sit back and try to push out from here? I mean, Scarlet can just bring the Mutas over and start killing all the production and tech.
That's what she's going to do. And you know what? puCK doesn't have enough Stalkers to really blink forward and start fighting those Mutas. If he was to do that, she would just turn around and smack them down just like that.
Yep, the Stalkers taking a beating from these Mutas that are kind of in the back, not even in range to try to hit these forces. And 6 more Mutas on the production tab, Todd. And I guess these Stalkers are brave, but they can't kill them all.
Yeah, Scarlet has played this beautifully, really using the mobility of the Mutas. Look, she's expanding everywhere again. Retaking her natural third base.
Hatcheries everywhere, man.
The creep spread has kept on going throughout the entire game as well. We have a single observer on the map, but you don't really want to be stepping on creep. Actually, this observer, he's seeing the worst thing you'd like to see when you're a Protoss player. He sees a base with full saturation here in the corner.
Yeah, this is tough. The Mutalisks come over. puCK blinks again. Is Scarlet ready to go for the big fight? Not just yet. Archon takes a big chunk out of that cloud, but there's still one last chance for puCK.
When behind.
Dark Shrine.
I think it's time. You know what? He has a lot of gas because he's only mining from this one base, and I guess puCK can cut Stalker production here for a little bit, so he's getting a whole bunch of gas. He could make 2 or 3 DTs, but I mean, what is he going to change? We have a lair from Scarlet. She's getting pneumatized Carapace. She just made an Overseer to help and rejoin her Mutas just to snipe that Observer, which I guess she knows about by now. And, well, I guess Scarlet knows that puCK knows that there is the base here as well now.
Yeah, these Zealots cleaned up by the few Zerglings that Scarlet has. And at this point, puCK's got enough money saved to try to take a Nexus, but as soon as puCK expands, I feel like just the mobility of these Mutalisks stretch him far too thin to be able to contest any bases.
27 now probes against 63 drones. This is just not ideal here. Scarlet having almost more than double the income. Man, those Mutas are fearless, but I guess with the regeneration, they can afford to do that. Even if she loses 1 or 2 here, it's never going to be more than that. The Dark Shrine finishes now, and we have a pylon.
He can afford a few DTs. That Overseer is with the Mutalisks.
Oh, he warps in 3, which might actually work just down that ramp.
It is the only Overseer.
Next to the
There's
Mutas.
No Spore Crawlers.
Oh, she's going to see them.
Oh,
you can't run.
Oh, no. Oh, poor puCK. The only forces really getting sniped immediately. These Stalkers blink once again, trying to chase the Mutalisks. I mean, at that point, that was supposed to be it. That's supposed to be the Hail Mary.
You have to feel for puCK here. Really getting unfortunate and unlucky and getting into unfortunate situation here and there. And I think this is a tough loss to swallow, but he's going to realize soon that there is no way he can win that game anymore.
Yeah, just a couple of Stalkers taking some pot shots at these Mutas. There's very little to be done, though. And Scarlet doesn't want to take too much of a crazy risk. She knows that with the economy that she has, all she needs to do is not purposely throw this game away. Just make sure that she continues to produce units. Don't trade too poorly against the Stalkers and Archons. And it should be a clean win for her. These Mutalisks are better upgraded than the Gateway units. They've done an exceptionally good job so far in this map. And
Scarlet actually did drone quite crazily just now.
Yeah.
Was
Well,
comfortable
GG
enough.
is called. puCK gives up. Scarlet takes the 2-0, and after I'd say an interesting series as far as the strategies that popped up from both players, the Acer Zerg will take that win. And puCK, yeah, he's played pretty well so far in today's group, but not able to beat this Zerg.
Getting a good score in the group stage is very important, obviously. Scarlet, both players actually going into this match, they were 1 and 2. And Scarlet taking the win here, she's going to be at 2 and 2, has a good chance to place higher in the group and to be seeded higher into the brackets.
Yeah, so great play. puCK going over to shake hands, and you know it's one of those tough spots to climb out of. You find yourself towards the lower end of that group. Still more, so you get still more matches for puCK to play. Still more chances to climb up though.
I think that puCK would have done a lot better if he brought the War Prism that he made with his army and basically just tried to steamroll the bases of Scarlet, maybe even base trade if he had to. Even though there was Mutas, I mean, there wasn't that many links yet. They were about even in the supply counts. He had +2 on the way, it would have completed. He had photon overcharge back at home, so maybe it would have worked. But in the situation, he put himself in a bad situation. I mean, Scarlet read the game perfectly again, took a lot of bases, went into Mutas very quickly. And as I said, the Zerg on 10 gases is very, very difficult to deal with.
I think it showed a little bit that puCK, as good of a player as he is in the macro game, the early aggressive strategies that he either tried to go for on the second map or that he tried to feign going for on the first map, just not the strategy that he's comfortable doing. He didn't put himself in that place where he could do his standard +2 blink, which is kind of, it's kind of what he's known for. And even if Scarlet plays that, sometimes putting your best foot forward is the only way to do it. But props to puCK for trying to mix it up, but early aggression just doesn't seem to be his thing.
Yeah, if you're playing somebody who you think is better than you, that's when you should try to do something special. But puCK has proved before that he can go head-to-head, toe-to-toe with Scarlet and beat her in a straight-up game. So I'm not sure why he was trying to play so different here. Maybe a bit of lack of confidence, possibly, and just didn't pay off.
All right, well, that's a 2-0 victory for our Acer Zerg Scarlet, guys. We're going to go to a commercial break before we get into our next match. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is MLG Anaheim 2014.